Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon. Hello. Can you hear me, see me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you. Welcome to our meeting today. I'm Radosław Koszewski. Together with me, there are Piotr Kamiński, who is the president of Queen Hedvig Scholarship, and Tomasz Grajewski, who was one of the first who started this activity, and he's member of the council of the foundation. Miłosz, you are going to have 5 minutes to present yourself and maybe some of your plans, what you are going to do there in the Silicon Valley, and then back when you are back here in Poland. Then each of us will have up to 3 minutes for Q&A, and we will have 1 minute for the feedback. Is it all clear?
All right. So I guess I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. So I guess given that we are talking about education and academia, I should highlight some of my own, achievements. But what I mean by that is the educational path that I basically embarked on some time ago. So at the age of 18, I left Poland, actually, and I consider myself pretty much raised. What I mean by that is the formative years. Once you reach the age of 18, 20, then those coming years actually shape you, and that stays with you. We're spent in England. So basically, I finished a secondary school in Cambridge, after which I went to Dublin, where I did basically a double degree. That was history of art and archaeology. So I'm actually a trained archaeologist and art historian by that event, after which I went to the University of Oxford. That was the, so to speak, the next degree, specifically a master's degree in archaeology that I did. And I think that really taught me the value of education. And I will be speaking quite honestly with you. There is this feeling when you achieve such a thing that, oh, look at that, I left thousands of candidates behind, and basically you've beaten a world record. And I'm not saying that this to brag about it. It's been 10 years since I went there, pretty much, after the summer to be exactly 10 years. But I think it teaches me both the pitfalls and the positive aspects of such experiences, which I tend to share with my students. And I also tell them, and I run a series of lectures about studying in the UK and Ireland, during which I emphasize several times, guys, if you go on an adventure like this, if you come back, you will not be the same. There is no going back to who you were, to what you were before this sort of event. And I think that would actually fit with the program you're offering, because ultimately, this is what I try to instill in my students, this hunger for a global outlook, I would say, a global outlook, which teaches you perspective and basically causes quite a bit of transformation, to be quite frank. And I believe that's something that had motivated me to actually become the mentor, so to speak, of the 5 students that now are fighting to get to the Silicon Valley. You also mentioned what I plan to do there. I think this can only build upon what I have just said, that basically, guys, this is a couple of days in which you're going to learn how the world somewhere else operates. And that's what I had tried to tell them before the interviews that they did a couple of weeks ago. Guys, remember that it's about perspective. And if you want to shine in the interview, do highlight that you are different, those people are different, culture-wise, education-wise, and research and any projects and any specialists really worth their salt will engage in intercultural and basically interdisciplinary activities. And that's what I would like to emphasize to my students, and if necessary, and I believe it will be necessary, to point to these things while engaging with the individuals or the program itself in the Silicon Valley. And you also asked me what I would bring back.
So, thank you very much. Because your time is out.
Thank you.
If I may ask Piotr Kamiński for your question.
But it's good. I give you the floor. What you bring back?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
Okay.
That's sweet. Thank you very much. I guess I really went for it. So what I would bring back, definitely I would want to turn this into a series of small lectures again, with your permission, that is, if it's all right, to use the photographs, the experiences that we had there, and with the aid of photographs, and of course my commentary in the format of a bit of a lecture, just like I run these lectures, where I teach and enlighten my students as to the nature of studying abroad in the UK and Ireland. I would do the same, because I believe this encourages another generation, or basically another year of students, to also reach for such opportunities, which I'm noticing a very strange trend, to be quite honest with you. When I was at school, some people couldn't even dream of such opportunities. And now, to my surprise, I'm observing young people who don't care for them. And maybe this trend could be reversed. And also, the other group that I have observed and noticed is the group that basically lacks courage. And those kids, given that basically I work at the best school in the region, the whole voivodeship, they really don't lack the intellect, the intellectual capacity to engage in such pursuits or to participate in such a program. And I think it could actually motivate them to find the courage and maybe try next year.
Thank you.
Masz?
In Silicon Valley, you're going to be in charge of one group, and the schedule is going to be very tight, you know, going from one place to another. How are you going to make sure that everything will be on time, that the group is there, and how you're going to fit into the kind of this logistical side of the entire trip?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking about this. So, as you know, education was not exactly my first professional path. I was actually responsible for functions and events at my own college. That was my first job, St. Cross College at the University of Oxford. And so those experiences taught me to really start ahead. And it doesn't matter that your event is in 3 months' time. You start it now, basically. Try to foresee everything, because as you go, you will discover that you probably haven't thought of half of the things that could potentially crop up or go wrong. So the first rule that I have is to start really early. The second thing is to have a schedule. I don't really leave anything to chance, and I guess that's just in my nature, which some people find problematic, because I could be a slightly difficult individual. On the other hand, the other side of that coin would be exactly ensuring that things don't go wrong because I had tried to foresee them. And of course, basic things that I'm not sure I should be even mentioning: get their phone numbers. You know, if you didn't think about that, how are you actually going to do anything if you don't have the phone numbers of those students? That sort of thing. Ensure the technology works, maybe test it before, that sort of thing. I know it sounds really basic, but I have seen events, functions go to shambles because of really basic things, and nothing is too obvious, I would say. At least these are my initial ideas.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miłosz, what subjects do you teach in a school?
Currently English. That actually did another degree after all those, and that was specifically English, which has enabled me now to work in secondary school.
But you are an historian, right?
An art historian and archaeologist. Actually, it was archaeology that I specialized eventually in.
And in which period you specialized in?
So specifically Roman archaeology, early empire, that sort of thing. Okay. So when you think about the age of Augustus and onwards, maybe the 1st century AD, that was specifically my field.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting.
Thank you.
What do you expect to find in a Silicon Valley? Those guys there, they deal with technology, they deal with money, medicine. Do you think is the place for you?
So I have to admit, I went to California a couple of years ago. I have a friend there actually, so this isn't exactly the first time I would be going there. So I know what sort of culture I'm entering. At least I have a decent idea, and I think that will actually help. Maybe those who have never been don't know that, for example, public transport is almost non-existent in San Francisco. I know we're not going to San Francisco, but this is something that teaches you to check it before. Check it before, because you may go with an assumption that can go horribly wrong. In terms of the fields you're referring to, you're right. This is pretty much the polar opposite of what I have always done. I'm pretty much an arts and humanities sort of person. But I think this goes back to the perspective. And I think I have this awareness thanks to my experience at the University of Oxford. In your college, the idea is that you basically live and socialize with people who study all kinds of things. And it's about this interdisciplinary research and that perspective you need to develop. Of course, I cannot foresee what I'm going to find, what I'm going to see and learn, but I have no doubts that it will basically add to the perspective through, to my perspective, through exploring and being exposed to something different.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank
Now
you.
we have 1 minute for the feedback, Piotr.
Miłosz, wonderful presentation. You know what you want. You understand pretty much what we would like to do, what we would like to give the students. Really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomasz.
I'm impressed with your insofar experience, in both education-wise, but also your experience, like you were saying, that you were organizing events. So good luck, and then keep the fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Miłosz, thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting. You speak about interesting things in a very interesting way, but you could have prepared your presentation better. The time management could have been better. So maybe that would be my advice, to work on that. Anyway, please remember that this is just the part of the whole process. Now you need to collect as many votes on internet as possible, because those votes will prevail after all.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, thank you very much for meeting us today.
Thank you very much. It's been a
All the
pleasure.
best.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you. Miłosz.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you too.